Who is he?
And that stuff he said about the Wizard King?
That's right, you heard me! I'm gonna become the Wizard King, you got it? There a problem with that?
He's officially nuts. Him, the Wizard King? Talk about delusions of grandeur.
You get what that means, right? If that's really your goal, you're gonna have to prove that you're better than all 9 Magic Knight captains. And now, standing here magicless and pathetic, can you really say you have what it takes? That you're strong enough to be the Wizard King?
Yeah, fine. So maybe I won't get to join a Magic Knight squad today. But no matter what anyone says, and no matter how many times I might stumble, I won't give up! I will become the Wizard King! I'm not joining the Magic Knights just so I can slack off and have a little fun. I've got a much bigger goal. I'm gonna be the Wizard King!
Until I become Hokage, I don't care what happens, I am not gonna die! It doesn't matter how strong my opponent is. If he tears off my arms, I'll just kick him dead. If he tears off my legs, I'll bite him dead. If he tears off my head, I'll stare him dead. If he gouges out my eyes, I'll curse him dead.
Well, I'm gonna be King of the Pirates!
King of the Pirates is a title given to one who obtains everything this world has to offer! You're talking about seeking the great treasure of wealth, fame, and power! The treasure that you seek is the One Piece!
Yeah!
Yeah, that's it! Pirates from all over the world are looking for that treasure, you know?
Yeah, so?
No way! It's impossible, impossible, impossible! There's no way anyone like you could ever reach the pinnacle during this great pirate age!
It's not about if I can. I'm doing this because I want to. I decided long ago that I'm gonna be King of the Pirates. If I have to die fighting for that, then I die.
If I can't control my quirk, there's no way I'll ever become a hero! I have to work way harder than everyone else here if I want to succeed! Even if I have a lot to learn, I'll focus on what I can do right now! It hurts, but not as bad as before!
In middle school, even now, no matter how much I jump, I always get blocked. Height is important for volleyball. You can't always just jump real high to make up for being short like me. But still, that never stopped me from wanting to be a spiker. I don't care whether I'm cut out for it or not. I'll do the best I can with what I've got, and I'll win! I'm on this court and I'm not going anywhere.
You know what separates me from everyone else? I'm delusional enough to believe I'm the strongest. And you know what? That delusion became reality. When I was growing up, people called it arrogance. They said I was too confident, too sure of myself. But here's what they didn't understand. Confidence isn't delusion. Belief in your impossible potential is. I didn't just think I was strong, I was delusional enough to believe I could rewrite the rules of what strong even means. While others were accepting their limitations, I was rejecting the concept of limitations entirely. See, most people are realistic. They look at their current abilities and make realistic goals. That's exactly why they stay average. Reality is just what you've accepted so far. I was delusional enough to believe I could see everything, predict everything, counter everything. That level of delusion, that's not mental illness, that's mental strength. Your delusions about yourself need to be so strong that reality has no choice but to bend to match them. You think successful people were realistic about their chances? Hell no. They were delusional enough to attempt what everyone else thought was impossible. The difference between delusion and vision is results. And until you're delusional enough to believe in your impossible future, you'll never have the drive to create it. So be delusional. Reality is overrated anyway.
I was born elite, born to rule, born to be the strongest. Everyone called it delusion when I kept losing to Kakarot. But you know what? I never stopped believing. I was destined for greatness. See, most people let reality crush their delusions. They get defeated once, twice, 3 times, and they start making excuses. They start accepting that maybe they're not special. Not me. Every defeat just proved I wasn't delusional enough. When Kakarot became a Super Saiyan before me, when he saved the planet while I was still catching up, everyone said, "Give up, Vegeta. Accept your place." But my delusion was stronger than their reality. I trained harder. I pushed further. I refused to let the universe tell me who I was supposed to be. That's the thing about being delusional. It's not about ignoring reality. It's about being so convinced of your future that you force reality to change. Royal blood didn't make me a prince. My delusions did. And those same delusions made me a legend.
Look, when I first walked into Blue Lock, I was nobody. Average height, average speed, average everything. Surrounded by monsters who could do things I'd never even dreamed of. But you know what I had that they didn't? I was delusional enough to believe I belonged there. Everyone else looked at my stats, my background, my high school team that never won anything important. They saw reality. I saw potential. While they were calculating their chances based on what they'd already done, I was delusional enough to believe I could evolve, that I could become something completely different from what I was. See, realistic people look at their current abilities and make realistic goals. That's why they stay exactly where they are. But I was delusional enough to think that hunger could beat talent, that obsession could overcome natural ability. Every time someone faster than me scored, every time someone stronger than me dominated, instead of accepting my place, I got more delusional. I started believing I could steal their abilities, absorb their strengths, become better than all of them. That's not confidence, bro. That's pure delusion. And that delusion made me study every play, analyze every movement, break down every technique until I could see possibilities that didn't exist before. Your delusion has to be stronger than everyone else's reality. Because if you can see a future version of yourself that doesn't exist yet, you can work backwards to make it real. Be delusionally hungry. It's the only way to devour greatness.
People think I'm just another average student trying to live a quiet life. They see me blend into the background, avoid attention, keep my grades mediocre on purpose. What they don't understand is this is all calculated. I was raised in a facility where they tried to create perfect humans. Most kids broke under the pressure. Most couldn't handle what they put us through. But I was delusional enough to believe I could not just survive it, but master it. While others were crying, giving up, accepting their limits, I was absorbing everything, every lesson, every test, every manipulation. I became delusional about my own capabilities. But here's the thing about real delusion. It's not loud. It doesn't announce itself. The most dangerous delusions are quiet ones. I don't need to prove I'm the smartest person in the room. I already know I am. I don't need validation from grades or recognition. My delusion is so complete that external proof is irrelevant. See, most people's delusions are fragile. They need constant reinforcement, constant proof that they're special. But when your delusion is built on absolute certainty, you don't need anyone else to believe it. I manipulate situations, predict outcomes, control variables that others don't even know exist. Not because I'm trying to show off, but because in my mind, that's just what I do. The strongest delusion isn't, I think I'm great. It's, I know exactly what I'm capable of, and it's more than you can comprehend. That's not arrogance, that's calculated confidence in your own impossibility.
I was born with no cursed energy. Zero. In a world where power's everything, where bloodlines determine your worth, where techniques make you special, I had nothing. The Zenin clan threw me out like garbage, said I was worthless, a stain on their precious family name. They saw a man with no gifts and wrote me off completely. But I was delusional enough to believe that having nothing could become my everything. See, while they were relying on their inherited power, their family techniques, their cursed energy, I was building something different. Something they couldn't understand. I turned my body into a weapon. I studied every sorcerer, learned their weaknesses, found ways to kill things that were supposed to be unkillable. I was delusional enough to think a man with no powers could hunt the most powerful beings alive. And you know what? I was right. I killed the strongest. I made the untouchable bleed. I proved that raw skill and brutal preparation could overcome any bloodline, any technique, any natural gift. They called me the Sorcerer Killer not because I had cursed energy, but because I didn't need it. That's the most dangerous delusion of all, believing that what you lack is actually your advantage, that your weakness is secretly your strength. Don't let them tell you what you need to succeed. Don't let them convince you that without their gifts, their connections, their advantages, you can't make it. Be delusional enough to believe that having nothing means you have everything to gain, and everything to prove.
I've been telling people I'm gonna be #1 since I was 5 years old. 5. When other kids were playing with toys, I was already delusional about my destiny. Everyone called it arrogance. Teachers, classmates, even my parents thought I was just a loud kid with a big mouth. But I knew something they didn't. My delusion wasn't just talk. It was a promise I made to myself. When Deku got into UA, when Todoroki showed his power, when every other extra started getting recognition, people expected me to humble myself. To accept that maybe I wasn't as special as I thought. But that's exactly when my delusion got stronger. See, most people's confidence crumbles the moment they face real competition. Mine exploded. Every challenge just proved that I needed to be more delusional, not less. I don't just want to win. I'm delusional enough to believe that anything less than complete domination is failure. While others are happy with good enough, I'm disgusted by anything that isn't perfect. That's not healthy. That's not balanced. I don't care. My delusion about being the absolute best is what gets me up at 4 a.m. to train. It's what makes me study harder, fight longer, push further than anyone else is willing to go. You think successful people got there by being realistic about their chances? Hell no. They got there by being so delusional about their potential that they couldn't accept any outcome except total victory. Be delusional enough to make everyone else's best look like they weren't even trying. That's the only way to explode past average and into legendary.